Yo, Ronan, how is it going? Good evening and welcome to Dojo on Art, a podcast for creative minds, pathfinders, and wanderers of the arts. I'm your host, Julio, and Dojo, that's me, that's you, that's us. Today, I'm joined by a long-term friend that goes by the name Andreas. How's it going, Andreas?
Hey, doing fantastic, thanks.
It's a pleasure having you here, man. We've been both looking forward to this episode. We've planned it and scheduled it a long time ago. We've been postponing it for a couple of times.
Maybe 10 times or so.
But yeah, it's great to finally be here and just arrive in this moment and arrive in this episode. And yeah, let's have a good time, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Nice.
Yeah, excited to be here.
So, man, we first need to establish who you are and maybe how we've been connected. So maybe for everyone that doesn't know anything about you yet, give us a brief summary of who you are, what you do, and how you're connected and related to the world of arts.
All right, so for the people who don't know me yet, so pretty much everyone, my name is Andy. I've been working as an animator for I think like 6 years now in the games industry, and yeah, I'm working for games, and also I'm a digital artist, like hobby-wise, and I'm also a cosplayer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of facets of creativity that surround your life, and there's a lot of topics that we need to go into, and I'm really curious to find out more about all the details and the stories that you have to share. So yeah, looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, same.
So for the people now listening, we go back we've been talking about it previously. We go back about 15 years probably.
That's about right, yeah.
So we first met each other in school, and there was some point where my class and your class was merged together. And unfortunately, we only had 2 years together.
Yes, exactly.
And then you went over to a different school. That was a technical school?
Exactly. It was already like IT, an IT specified school. Yeah. So that was my very first touch with game development, actually.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
That's where it started?
Yes.
I didn't know. How was that first contact point? Like, do you remember a project that you had to do or prepare, or like?
Oh man, maybe something like Snake or something like
Really?
that. Yes.
That's awesome, man.
But, oh yeah, it was like a round-based, turn-based RPG or something, but very basic.
Okay.
Yeah, the focus was definitely more on the programming part.
Mm-hmm.
So not really art-related. That's why back then I thought, man, game development is not for me. I hate programming.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something different. I want to go into media design or anything, but not game development.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know back then was that game development is not like one big thing, but it is like there's so many different departments,
Yeah.
which are very specified.
Okay.
So yeah, but we're coming to that later.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Great, man. Oh, I didn't know that. So that's something new that I just learned about you. Nice. Let's roll back and think about moments in our lives where we had the chance to be creative together. So for me, for example, there is this moment or this project that we had in mind that I think we named it Oscuras.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I already forgot about that.
Yeah. So for the people now listening, let's establish a little bit what it was about and what I think we never came to actually film one episode of it. So
no, just a couple of scenes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was basically a movie or a series.
A series.
Right?
We had the plan for for that series, sort of vampire based,
Yes,
themed, like in that direction.
Yeah.
I think we were all great fans of the Vampire Diaries, so that kind of influenced us at that.
Like a lot.
Yeah. Nice.
It was very edgy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Nice.
Even shooting the 2 or 3 scenes we did.
I remember that we had this scene in mind where the vampires or these oscuras, they were clubbing.
It was like there were a lot of humans.
Yeah.
Or in our case, like 3 or 4, because we didn't have enough people.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of clubbing in a bar or something. And then I think it was even you. You were one of those oscuras or vampires or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
And you were sucking on the neck of some girl.
Uh-huh.
And then like escaping, and we the vampire hunters were basically going after you. So we had a little fight scene outside of the building. Remember that?
Yeah.
Tried to incorporate some parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's all that footage gone? Like, was it on your camera, or is it like out there somewhere? Because
I don't know. Maybe it's floating around. Oh, maybe on my sister's cam.
Yeah, she should go down into the archives.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think she showed me something.
Okay. Couple of years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to ask her.
Man, that would be like awesome to see again.
Yeah.
Because we had a big, like, it was vampires themed, but in some way it was different to what the normal vampire series would look like. So I think just from the idea of that series, it was actually like a great vision. But obviously we didn't have the capacities nor the skills to really make it a high-end production, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So I would have loved to see that series come to an end, even if it's just 5 episodes, that would have been awesome.
Hey, maybe at some point.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
I think we should contact your sister about it, because she might have some material that could spark something again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. I think we even went to some shooting day that I remember. There was this old lost place that is also part of. It was like a real estate of my family.
Exactly.
But it was like a little lost castle, and the windows were broken down, and there were like some wooden planks in front of it, and we obviously had the key, so we could get inside. But I think we also had some shots and some scenes inside there.
That is true, but still, people called the police.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
they called the
right.
police. We got kicked out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so ridiculous because we own the place.
True, but the only thing that people saw were like torch lights or something, like going around in the house. Yeah. So they thought we were just,
because we probably went at night, like in the evening, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
And also, I think we climbed in above the fences or something. Yeah, but it was a good time.
Man. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So that for me really is the first point where we connected in a creative way. I don't know if there is.
There was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that contest we did for the VW up?
Oh yeah. The Volkswagen.
Yeah, the Volkswagen.
Nice.
The little movie we did there.
Yeah.
The race Volkswagen versus
parkour
runners. Yeah, exactly. That was cool. I mean, we didn't win, unfortunately.
But it was. We even had like some short clips and videos to really have some content for the people. It was like we did it like really nice and awesome. I loved the entire project. Yeah. It was a good time. Yeah.
Thinking back when we were just some teens.
Yeah.
The end product was pretty high end.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah. Also, the parkour moves and the athletics part of it was quite high end. All right, man. So, okay, we already had a little chat. Maybe now let's get into this part of the podcast, which is our beverage ritual. this is kind of a ritual in our podcast. With every guest, we like to pour some special drink. And in this case, it's the perfect bottle, actually, for what we've just been talking about. You can tell the people the story behind that bottle, because I think it was a gift for my 30th birthday.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so basically, as you already said, right, we were big fans of the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
And two of the main actors, Ian Somerhalder and Paul Weasley, which played the two Salvatore brothers, the two vampires in the main cast, they are pretty good friends in real life also. And the characters were drinking a lot of bourbon in the show. And the actors also are very big bourbon fans.
Yeah.
So they created their own bourbon, which is named Brothers Bond.
Nice.
So that's why that was a perfect birthday gift for you. So I had to do it.
Nice. So our little story about Oscuras and the vampires has been the perfect pitch to pour us this special drink. I also love that it's called Brothers Bond, because we have also kind of a relationship with How I Met Your Mother and Barney Stinson, right?
True, yeah.
And the bro code. So this is just obviously the perfect drink for us.
Yeah.
So let's just take some of these icy rocks, and I think 3 should be about fine.
Yeah, 3 should be plenty.
I love the sound of it. It's like really ka-ching.
Feel of them.
Yeah. Okay, so let me do the honors of of pouring the first drink. I think that should be about okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And let's just take this moment for ourselves, and let's cling on coming back together and talking about creativity and art and about all times. So cheers, man.
Cheers to all times.
It's like a very manly drink. I feel like
it is
solid. Awesome.
Good stuff.
All right, man. So welcome to the show. This is it, man.
Nice.
Just had our first sip. Means a lot to me having this drink and cling on that with you. So let's get into it. Let's dive into it. So you've been explaining that you're an animator and you do cosplaying, and you're also very fond in illustrating, right?
Yes.
Did I forget something? You're a digital artist,
which is pretty much illustration most of the time.
I mean, you're very skilled painting and drawing, obviously. Like I've seen you drawing. There was a time when I was studying my engineering studies, and you were coming over so many times. I would bring this pile of books of how to draw like human shapes and also like monster shapes like dragons and so on.
Yeah.
And we would just be sitting down and practicing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I also remember like practicing circles, which is like one of the basic activities of starting to draw.
Yeah, that's true. Basic practices. Yeah. I tried to be a little bit of a sensei to you back then.
Yeah.
Of a teacher, but probably wasn't the best doing so. But I'm pretty decent at drawing, I would say. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are way better. But it's still a lot of fun. I love to do it.
So talking about drawing especially, and because that's something that I remember, like one of the first creative skills of you that I have in mind. That's even before everything else. So I remember you and Ruben, who has also been here on the show, Magic Lupus. We've been talking about you behind the scenes as well a little bit.
Oh, really?
And so he has shared one funny story, which was a kind of a series, anime or like manga series or comic series that you did called Bazella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Bazella.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was my very first manga idea.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, it was a little bit of a thing of Ruben and me together.
Yeah.
But I drew the stuff mostly.
Yeah.
And
It's like we're insect persons, right? Like something like that.
I don't even know what they were.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah.
They had some
Antennas.
insect antennas.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had like duck beaks.
Okay.
Like something like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe.
Wow.
I don't even really know much anymore. But yeah, that was the very first idea. And
like Ruben said that it had potential. Like it really had potential. It could have been something like if you kept going.
well, I don't know about that.
But just from listening what he told me, just like what you told me, it's like I haven't seen something like that out there yet. So
It's for sure a pretty unique idea, but I don't know if it's a great idea.
yeah. Well, you never pursued it. Yeah.
I never pursued it. No, not
Do
really.
you have like any drawings left of that? Like in some
Of that time?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to. I would need to go back to my parents' house and
Okay.
look.
But you
look
think
up.
they would still be there?
Probably, yeah, something. I did some later iterations of Bazella
Yeah.
when I was like 15 or 16,
hmm
but it didn't really have to do much with the original idea.
Okay.
It was more like different kinds of fighters with elemental powers.
Oh.
So a little bit more generic,
hmm
but yeah, I still called it that way.
Okay.
I still held on to the idea back then
Okay.
a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, but
Yeah.
funny story, definitely. So.
Yeah, true. That was our little manga baby.
Yeah.
But Bazella.
Uh,
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, as you said, I think drawing was my very first artistic talent.
mhm.
Like for most artists who do something in that direction. I started drawing when I was a child, when I was able to hold a pen.
Mhm.
And yeah, everyone kept telling me I was great. And so I basically got the feeling that I was the best artist ever, which big surprise, I am not. But
That's great. Like you need some humbleness.
yeah,
As an artist.
at
yeah.
least it gave me the confidence to pursue the career, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my question. If that really was the sort of the motivator, the motor to pursue what people have been telling you that you were good at and something that you already liked. So was it really drawing what gave you like the first push to go down that road?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I thought I would be a manga artist for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
It was my first big artistic goal.
Yeah.
Being a manga artist is really, really hard, so I didn't pursue it actually,
Oh.
especially in Germany.
Mm.
But yeah, at least it gave me the drive to at least keep drawing, you know.
hmm
So with that motivation, I got into this and that, like
Yeah.
IT, and then into it was called Talent Studio,
Okay.
that preparation course for basically every art-related university.
Okay.
And then I got into Games Academy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So that's sort of the way that you went down. Okay.
Exactly.
So is there a particular moment back in time maybe as a child, or you kind of acknowledged art? Like was there some point where you felt like, yes, I do great drawings, I like mangas, this is my thing, I'm an artist? Or was it more like a gradual process?
Not really, because I feel like an artist since I was able to think, you know, because as I said, everyone, like the kindergartner and my mom and I was drawing everywhere.
So they saw that talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I was, I don't know, when we were going out eating or something, while we were waiting for food,
You were painting on a napkin.
I was drawing
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
And everyone and their mom told me, "Oh my God, you're so talented.
Okay. Nice.
You're gonna be famous." And
Yeah.
that is why I always felt like an artist.
Okay.
There was never a moment where I was like, okay, I'm good. And now I'm an artist."
Nice.
Because it was always part of my identity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a nice story, actually, like in two ways. In one way, that you had sort of the support system of good people around you that acknowledge what you're doing and they support what you're doing and they give you a good feeling about it. So that's the one part that really gave you early on the feeling, or maybe also the idea of being good at something and having the possibility to later on pursue that in your life. And then obviously also what you mentioned already, there is kind of this, there has to be this balance of getting acknowledgement and also people not making you feel like you are the greatest of all time.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yeah. I'm really thankful for all the people who supported me, especially my family.
Yeah.
They were really, really supportive. And yeah, the other thing you noticed, I don't really think there were people who told me, yeah, you're actually not the greatest.
Yeah.
But it was more like a wake-up call for myself. There was some point where I just noticed, man, there are so many good people out there. And to this day, I face that every day, you know.
Do you feel like intimidated by it, or do you just...
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, especially nowadays, it's really hard to not get intimidated. Like, there is, especially with social media, there's so much content and you get overwhelmed by so much.
Oh, yeah.
And me as an artist, like I get content that is related to what I do. Obviously, the algorithm is just tuned. But there is this kind of balance where you need to realize what you're worth for yourself.
Yes.
And not compare yourself to everything else that is out there, to still have and remain mentally sane and like healthy, right?
Yeah, which is pretty hard sometimes.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's not too easy to think of yourself as the greatest, because there is so much proof that you are not.
Yeah.
But yeah, the challenge is more like, as you said, like staying mentally sane and give yourself some credit. Like, give yourself a little pat on the back. Yeah. Like, I am good.
Yeah.
But like,
so how
view the other people's as more of an inspiration,
right,
and not as comparison.
Yeah.
That is a big difference, I think.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So I definitely need to pour some water also, because we might get drunk if we continue like that. At least I am, because this is some heavy duty. Do you want some water?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, mate.
So now we have established a lot of your background, and I really would love to hear more about the transition into the creative industry for you. So you mentioned you've been supported in your drawings and your aspirations as a creative as a kid already, and you've been pursuing that because you loved it. And then you went over to this technical school, and you had sort of also creative contact points, but more in a technical aspect.
Yes.
And then went over to this talent studio, which was sort of the accelerator to get into the Games Academy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So maybe tell us a little bit more about that step from getting into the Games Academy, your experience of all the classes that you took there, and how they really pushed you in what you were aspiring at that point, and if it really was the thing that you were looking for and what you needed to sort of reach the next level, because I think we all want to grow as artists and just develop our skills. And then what it was like for you then after finishing the academy and then really diving into the real world, and how was that?
All right, that's gonna be a long story. I'm gonna take a sip.
That's all right. But I also somehow feel drawn to always keep drinking, because it really tastes nice. Like it's yeah.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a sip here too.
I said it. We might get drunk.
All right. Let's start with the end of my Abitur.
Yeah.
So back then I didn't really know what to do. I knew I was good at drawing, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I thought about a couple of things, even things that are not art related at all. I thought about becoming a police officer. I thought about becoming a teacher.
Okay.
And also about becoming an actor. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But my mom back then basically put me on the spot and said, okay, if you want to do something art related,
Yeah.
this is your chance.
Okay.
You have to decide now, will you do it or not? And I
Okay.
was like, yeah, okay, it's basically my biggest talent. I'm gonna do it.
Awesome.
Then she kicked me like a week later
Yeah.
into the talent studio.
Okay.
It was a week after the end celebration of Abitur.
Okay.
And
So you finished school, and then a week later, you're like, bam.
I think it was even less.
Okay.
The party was on a Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Monday, that was the first day where I had to drive 1.5 hours.
Okay. And you're like, oh my God.
And I was like, oh, come on, give me a break.
Okay.
But it was great.
Yeah.
It was a good decision. I'm really thankful for my mom.
It was like a nice, a gentle push into the right direction.
It was more like a kick in the butt. but
Okay.
Yeah, it was necessary.
So did she also like really hit it out of the park in terms of preparing everything to get you into that talent studio? Like, did you do anything to get inside, or did she like just put you on the list and basically told you, okay, now you have to go?
She did pretty much everything.
Okay. That's awesome, man. That's such a great support.
Yeah, she's awesome. That was the next step in my career as an artist. And but still back then I didn't know what to do. It was just like,
let's do
I
it.
can draw, kind of,
Let's try.
and let's see where I can get with that. And so I thought maybe media design, because it was the next best thing. And so my teacher back then, he had an eye on me. He wasn't sure if that exactly was the right thing for me, because after doing the standard stuff back there, I tried to get away with something else, like drawing dragons and stuff like that, right? And at some point, he came to me and he was like, man, Andy, I have the perfect thing for you.
Okay.
You gotta do it. He showed me the whole game development thing.
Okay.
He called it game design back then, which is wrong actually, because game design has nothing to do with art. Yeah, that was the very first point where it touched the whole thing.
Okay.
And then I got back into the whole game development idea.
Okay.
Because then I met some people who told me that game development isn't necessarily coding stuff.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it really sounds like it. Yeah, like me as a noob in that area, I would say totally it's about programming
Exactly.
and
Most people think that
development.
That way. And I thought that too. But then
So is it the other way around? Game design is actually more about defining the parameters and everything?
Exactly.
Okay.
That is what game design
Really?
It's more about the mechanics and the rules of the game, basically, right? The system of the game. Even stuff like designing levels.
Okay.
Where are how many enemies? Where are rewards?
Like, who came up with the idea of calling that game design? Like, it's twisted, but all right.
I think calling a game art, game design comes from the other disciplines of design.
Okay.
Like media design, graphic design.
Okay.
It's connected with art in some way, right?
Okay.
But in game development, it has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that is what game art is.
Okay.
Concept art.
Okay.
Animation. Tech art.
That's where you're in.
Animation, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Talent Studio.
And the teacher of that talent studio was the one who advised you to check out game design.
Yes.
What he called it back then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because there was another girl back in there who already knew what she wanted to do.
Okay.
Which was game art.
Okay.
And he basically took me to her.
Okay.
And said, "Hey, this guy.
Yeah.
He should do exactly the same thing as you." Yeah. And funnily enough, we later applied to the same school and as Games Academy, and we started there together.
again, you've been a lucky guy. Like you have the right people around you, like your mom being the great supporter, like guiding you into the right, or like just showing you the right direction. Then in the talent studio, you have the teacher, like who's really having an eye on you and like your skills and your abilities, and already like processing and thinking where can I put this guy into. And then you also met this girl that you had a connection with, that you bonded with, and you find your way into studying together at the Games Academy. So sounds like the perfect road, man.
Oh yeah.
Where have been the obstacles?
That's basically the story of my life.
Okay.
I had a little bit of talent,
Yeah.
but the rest was a lot of luck.
Okay.
Right people at the right time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm happy for you, man.
Sometimes life is just that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the journey to Games Academy.
Perfect, man.
And from there on, I still didn't know what exactly I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like game development, something artsy in game development.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do exactly.
Okay.
I also was interested in game design.
Okay.
So I did a combination of the two ways.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the end of the day, art was still the way to go for me.
Okay.
And while studying, I discovered animation.
Yeah.
And fell in love right away.
Okay.
And
So let's come back to that in a bit.
Yeah.
What animation really is and what it means and what you are doing in animation. But for people now listening, maybe you can share what, from your perspective, really is needed to go down that road to get into game design. Like what is required as a creative or like as a person with that mindset to get to that point.
All right. Okay. So the thing is, if you just want to do game development in any kind, the way I did it was pretty good, I think, because you are getting taught pretty much everything, like the basics of everything. You get a little bit of coding, a little bit of art, a little bit of design. So you get in touch with pretty much everything. So you are getting a taste, and then you can decide what you want to do. For example, if you say, I want to become an animator.
Yeah.
This Andy guy is so cool. In Julio's podcast, I want to be just like him. I think the best way to go is self-teaching.
Okay.
The internet nowadays is full of cool information.
Yeah, true.
And a lot of free information also, but very cheap courses, which are very good for, I don't know, $500. Just teach everything to yourself. The information is out there, and be disciplined. You don't need a university or something.
Like the academic, you don't need the academic road.
You don't need the degree.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you have a good reel, if you're a cool guy, then, or girl, or whatever.
Let's be inclusive here.
You can be whatever you want to be. As long as the reel is good, you can go everywhere you want to go. No one will ask for your degree.
Yeah, I mean, especially nowadays, the world is changing. The world is way more fast-paced, and we've got so much information out there. There is a lot of value in the people, just like I am, right? I'm the perfect example for that. Like, I went down a different road in my studies, and always had this kind of passion for filmmaking, photography, and the creative world.
Yes.
I just kept hanging on basically to that passion of mine by doing my own projects and always kind of keeping it going with different little projects and ideas. And with the internet and especially YouTube, I just consumed so much content to just refine my skills in that. I've also found a way into the creative industry and had the chance to meet my peers, that some of them have taken the sort of traditional road, anything like academic or like really getting into the theory of things, while I was always the kind of guy of learning by doing. And I've had the opportunity to not compete, but measure my skills against the skills of my peers, and realize what you just said, that it really comes down to being disciplined and having a real passion for something that you want to do. Then you can find your way into what you want to do without even the need of a degree.
Yes, I think you were the perfect example for that, right?
But it's hard. I don't know how you think about it. Yeah, you just said it's really important to have a nice reel. Obviously, like the when you apply, people want to see the best of your work in a very compressed format. That's obviously really important. I'm not a recruiter. I couldn't really say if you come from a degree or you really have a really nice reel, what value does one and the other really have for them?
Well, as a person who was already part in the application process, in my experience in game development, it doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good news.
Yes. Okay, so the thing is, if you have the degree, maybe there will be some recruiters who will contact you. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little bit of an advantage. But if you are applying yourself, which you should do, it doesn't make a difference. If there are two people applying where I'm working at, and one of them has a degree and the other one has not, but the one who hasn't is a little bit better, we will take the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Okay.
If you're good, you're good.
Yeah, right. That's good news for everyone that has this kind of passion. I mean, to me, it really also is the aspect of the work life also changing. Being an employee these days isn't the same that it has been 50 years ago. There are still some companies that are kind of conservative and they need more time to get up to speed.
Yes.
That don't realize that it's not all about what you have on paper, right? In my opinion, like remote working and all this kind of digital aspect of life and of working has become more relevant. I feel like companies are slowly more open to different backgrounds also.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's right. Like companies are adapting slowly and having the luxury to work in the games industry. We have the advantage that game companies are adapting actually pretty fast. For example, myself, I am working 100% remote, even now that the pandemic is over.
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies outside of game development have gone back to their old ways, right? So people have to go back into the office, even though they
don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the world is changing. And in that regard, it is changing to the better, in my opinion.
Talking about change, what has been, in your opinion, the biggest game changer in the industry in recent time? Maybe now considering the rise of AI, artificial intelligence, like other processes or tools that you incorporate into your daily doings that enhance your work?
For me personally, the biggest game changer of the last couple of years is probably motion capturing and how much it improved. The mocap data nowadays is a lot cleaner. You have to do a lot less to work with it.
Like, explain a little bit, like, so,
how it
like
works?
a mocap motion capture suit, right?
Exactly.
That's what it is. So you have this suit on that has different reference points, and it gets captured with special cameras that capture every point in space and time.
Oh, you don't even need the cameras anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just the sensors on your suit.
Okay.
And you calibrate it, and then you can move around. The character is doing basically what you are doing.
Okay.
But I mean, still, you have to clean the data because there's a lot of jittering still.
Okay.
But it got a lot cleaner.
Okay. And so when you're working as an animator, are you using a lot of this mocap data in your daily routine?
Me personally, not so much.
Okay.
But especially for cinematics, we use a lot of motion capturing, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Regarding the future stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because you already talked about AI,
Yeah.
I think AI will be a big game changer.
Mm-hmm.
It is not at the moment, but there is a lot of potential for creatives out there.
Give us an example. Like, is there something that you've come across already that you realize, like, oh boy, give that 2 or 3 years more in time, and then
Yeah. Okay. So, I already saw some videos of people recording themselves, and AI generated like a persona of another character, which moved exactly like the person on camera.
Okay, so that basically means that you have your own mocap from a video.
Exactly. AI also creates the character.
So it's 3D.
It was 2D.
Okay.
It was rendered basically.
Okay.
So maybe more for movies or cinematic scenes or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
More of like that as in comparison to games.
Yeah.
But even then, for some indie titles or visual novels or stuff like that, I think AI is a big game changer. There are a lot of people, even people who are not artistic at all, who are just coders or game designers, and they can make their own game, which is great looking just because of AI. So yeah, there are a lot of possibilities, I think, which is a little bit scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we could have a whole conversation just about the possibilities and the maybe also the disadvantages or the risks of AI. Yeah,
is it dangerous?
Yeah, but these are crazy developments. Like AI is everywhere. Like it's clear that it will take over probably every aspect of our life. Like it will be in smart homes at some point. You could just talk with your home. It will be on your phone. Like your phone will just understand what you want, and you could talk to your phone just like Siri, but on steroids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that is something I just remembered. Somebody modded ChatGPT into a game, which meant that NPCs in the game were and their dialogue options and stuff were
connected to AI.
To an AI, yeah.
Wow.
And that is mind-blowing.
Okay.
It's like you are talking to a real person.
Wow.
In a game.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then again, game design comes in, because you have to kind of have the dots connecting to the story, right? Yes. There has to be some, because otherwise it's just, you're like in an alternate, you're in the Matrix otherwise.
I mean, that is the big challenge probably then, right? Like taking the whole AI thing, but still control it in a way you want it to
have a direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's exciting.
It's exciting, yeah. Now we've talked about AI and the possibilities. Games in particular have been developing at a crazy pace. Don't games develop at the same rate as computing develops? Like, isn't it like on par? Like if the processing power and the GPU power gets this much better, then also games automatically get this much better.
No, not necessarily. Games are looking a lot better, right? Nowadays. But are games better nowadays?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But
we have to talk about that. Like, what does a good game actually?
Entirely different breed there.
Yeah.
Of course, graphics will get better, but I think it's already slowing down a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the improvement from 5 years to now is a lot less than, I don't know, from 1995 to 2000 or 2000 to 2005 was a much bigger jump.
Okay.
In comparison to nowadays.
Okay. So it's more like a curve that leads to a tangent. It's like at some point it's really like you need a lot of technical improvement to get a tiny bit better.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think we are already getting pretty close to pretty realistic environments and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. As I said, it doesn't make the game a lot better if it looks a little bit better.
So talking about looking realistic and graphics improving, like games getting to a level where they are indistinguishable of reality. Augmented reality, virtual reality now also being developed, and you being in the industry and sort of being at the heart of the developments. How do you feel about games becoming indistinguishable? Do you already feel like at some points they could be indistinguishable if you are in the right setup?
Maybe at some point, but I mean, in my experience, I think we are still pretty far away from that.
Okay.
But it is a possibility, especially now with AI getting better and better. So because that was the biggest hindrance, that the characters you interact with will always react in the same way.
Yeah.
But if NPCs can react to you like any human would, that will be a big jump. And then if something comes up like virtual world, remember when we watched Sword Art Online back then?
Yeah. That was the idea behind what we're talking about.
Yeah. Maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, that would be awesome. Being a grandpa and like just laying around all day with these big goggles on your head.
You think it's awesome?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. There was this other movie, I think it's called Surrogate. You know that one?
No, haven't seen.
It's like a movie also where people they sort of have this setup in their homes. It's real world, but you are kind of streaming the feed of a robot. So you have your surrogate. I think that's the term for it. Your surrogate is the robot that is in real life, and you basically sit at home and experience real life through the surrogate.
Okay.
Avatar is also sort of that thing, right? So in the first Avatar movie, the guy that sort of tuned into his avatar,
running around in that other body, yeah. But man, I would love it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it that way. The possibilities would be awesome. I mean, most of the time, if you have great possibilities, it is always connected to great dangers and great risks. Yeah. Because technology can be used for bad stuff, but I think it has a lot of potential. Take a sip.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm actually already feeling it because it's my second glass, and
really.
I also gotta say I have real life responsibilities right now, so I don't get to drink and sip on some distilled, refined Brothers Bond bourbon that many times.
Oh, but same for me.
Yeah.
That's always special for me.
Yeah. Let's bring it back to the notes. This topic about the virtual world meeting reality, it's really like two lines that are getting closer to each other and closer, and at some point they will meet. Considering and thinking about technological development, I really believe that at some point the Matrix will be what we are destined to. So we will accept to get rid of our flesh and blood and bones and experience life through a alternate window, let's say.
That's possible, yeah.
And now the question is if it's really going to be exciting or if just so detached of what life really means.
That is a very big topic.
Yeah, that's a deep question, right?
Yes, it is. And probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
As I said, I think stuff like that is always very dangerous.
Yeah.
But it is exciting to the same amount.
Yeah.
I personally love the idea of getting a feel of immortality.
Yeah, superpowers, yeah.
Exactly.
Like there's
if you are able to basically upload your brain to a digital space. I personally love the idea, but on the other hand, I already talked to some people about this topic because I really find it very exciting. Yeah. But there are a lot of people who find that thought really concerning, which I understand. Yeah, but I love the idea of superpowers and being immortal and and being in a world where you can live your biggest fantasies, where you can be a hero or whatever you want to be. What do you think?
Man, I'm kind of divided. I think it would be sort of awesome to experience life in this immortal way and just basically not being scared of any consequences. But then at the same time, I like the idea of being mortal because it gives so much more value to what you have and what you are. So it's kind of a different experience.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Which brings up another deep thought. What exactly makes us human? What is the purpose of our existence?
Yeah,
maybe we dig too deep. Right?
It's awesome. I'm loving it. Yeah. We were talking about games and how they develop, but I'd like to hear what you say about a game being a good game and what it takes for a game to be a good game.
You want the short answer or the long answer?
Give me both.
Okay. Short answer is being fun.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the long answer is a lot of different aspects which make a game fun. Yeah. Okay. So for some people, good graphics. Other people are into complex combat systems or interesting designed dungeons or cool creatures or
storylines.
Stories, exactly. There are so many different ways to make a game fun, but the end goal is always the same. And that is what makes a game a good game. That is the reason why even the most plain looking games can be considered good because they are fun, right?
Okay.
It's supposed to be entertaining, right? The definition of a game is a piece of media which responds to your actions. If it's that, then it's a game. But if it's a good game, that's another question, right? Yeah.
Well, that's established then. All right. What is a game that is considered a great game for you, but maybe also a great game among your peers?
You mean a game which is which pretty much everyone considers a good game?
In the industry.
In the industry?
Yeah, like something that has been so game-changing from the industry that it is just considered as a great game. Like something that changed the history of games.
Man, that's a hard one. Different people like different things.
Okay.
I mean, I can name you a lot of games which I like.
Okay, so let's go. Let's go ahead.
Okay. Personally, games that I like, the whole Pokemon series.
Okay.
And there we already go. There are a lot of devs who would disagree with me on that.
Okay.
Because on paper, they aren't designed that great, but there's a lot of nostalgia connected with it, for example. And this is one big aspect which is not really measurable, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's a great game for me.
I think it's a great example. Pokemon has really been one of the games that has flourished with the rise of portable consoles like the Game Boy, right?
Yes.
And that has really been a big game changer for the industry. Like, hasn't Nintendo with the Game Boy been one of the first really nicely designed portable consoles to take along?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Pokemon has been one of the games for that console.
I mean, objectively, it was a game changer for sure in game development. I'm looking at this from a developer perspective, and I think a lot of devs, especially game designers, would say, "Man, Pokemon is badly designed.
Yeah.
It's the combat system is simple rock paper scissors."
Yeah, it is simple. Yeah,
but
but sometimes the simple things are the great things.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who heavily disagree with me on that.
But what would you imagine at that time? Like, how could they do it differently? Like, I don't know. You have like simple controls. You can go up, down, left, right. You can press A, B. Like,
yeah, I think
there was no technological development at that time to make it more complex. Like I haven't played Pokemon for so long. Like there's so many editions. I don't know what Pokemon nowadays looks like. I've heard about Pokemon Go and the rise of Pokemon Go and like tapping into also augmented reality. And I thought that idea was cool. Like having sort of a different dimension between reality where Pokemons are all around us. That was cool.
One of the best months of my life.
But only 1 month?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I think it was really revolutionary back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason, I mean, the fact that even nowadays they are selling games like crazy, even though the games are getting worse and worse, unfortunately. I mean, it shows that there has to be something, right, with the system.
I just another idea popped on another question popped into my mind. Talking about the Game Boy being a portable console, we could say that, right?
Yeah.
So nowadays that every one of us has, almost everyone has a smartphone in their pocket. Because I know there are a lot of mobile games that are really being pushed and really successful. And is that kind of like overweighing the industry, or are there still some studios that are trying or pursuing going down different roads in a more innovative or traditional way?
Okay, so there are still a lot of studios which develop AAA titles which are for PC or console, right?
Okay.
But the sad thing is that most of those companies design games after a security formula, which basically means they are designing the games so they sell, basically.
Okay.
So, for example, Assassin's Creed is the perfect example.
Yeah.
They have a formula, it works, so they just take it, put it in another universe, adjust a thing or two, and then,
they squeeze it until it's dry and the last drop gets out of it.
Exactly. Okay. And that's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
But they want to play it safe. They don't want to lose money. It's the company view of things. And on the other hand, you have a lot of indie studios, which, in my opinion, are the hope of the industry.
Yeah, great.
Because they are trying new things. They have nothing to lose. Basically.
Okay.
I mean, of course they have. Yeah. They still want to eat some food and live. Yeah. But they won't lose millions and millions of dollars if the title doesn't ship. But that also means they can take more risks and be more innovative with the games. Yeah, and the mobile thing, I think in the mobile market, the most money is buried.
Okay.
The majority of people don't have a gaming PC or consoles, or maybe nowadays more have, but most people, as you already said, have a phone. Yeah. And if you want to get more players, you gotta develop something that is playable on your phone, which is also the reason why there are a lot of games nowadays which are playable on phone and on console and PC. Okay. For example, Genshin Impact. Okay. Which was a big hit in the last couple of years.
All right.
Yeah, and I think that is the way to go for a lot of companies in the future. Yeah, playing on both teams basically.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like having something that keeps you going, and on the other hand, having the possibility to try new things and just push forward just a tiny little bit. Yeah, great. Another thing that you mentioned was the success formula. Yeah, that some companies have sort of their success formula, and they just keep writing it basically, or just keep going with it. Assassin's Creed was one of those examples. Also, Assassin's Creed was a really awesome game for me for the first couple of titles. Was really like a new dimension of gaming for me, especially also since I'm a parkour guy. Like a game incorporating some parkour moves was really awesome. I felt really connected. But I get you. Like they're always just pushing these new titles, and it's basically the same thing, but
same thing in yellow.
Yeah. The question for me now is, since they have this success formulas, and I keep thinking about this topic, the topic of addiction. Like there are some games that are by design produced in a way that they really hook you to keep playing. Like there are some mechanics, some things in game that, I mean, I've played Dota, for example, for a long time, and I think it's a great game. And it's a repetitive game, right? It's always like, it's the same idea, it's the same concept, but they keep tweaking the heroes and their abilities and the items, and sometimes like changing the meta a little bit by introducing a new hero or a new item. And they sort of have their way to like twist the knob here a little bit and twist it here a little bit, and just changing the game in a way that they keep people hooked, you know? Like we are just puppets in a way. I mean, I loved it. I loved every second of it, always. But there comes the addiction factor. Also, now talking about social media, same thing. Like it's really just a algorithm, a program that is developed in a way that keeps you hooked to it. Yeah. So how do you feel about it being in the industry, and do you feel like games are kind of stepping into the dark side, or are we still on the bright side?
Okay, that heavily depends on the games and the studio. There are definitely studios which are part of the dark side. Yeah, I would say so, for sure. Okay. I think your example of Dota, I don't know what exactly they do to keep you hooked, but I think that is still pretty reasonable because they just want to keep you playing, right? Yeah. That is still okay in my book. Okay. But there are studios and games which are designed to really get addicted. And I mean like spending money regularly, hundreds and thousands of dollars.
They drive people to bankruptcy, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
They are called gacha games.
Gacha games. Okay.
They are called after the Japanese gacha machines. Yeah. Where you pull like random items, right? And they use the system to keep you hooked and to get your money. And they make lots of money with that. And even I, as a dev, who is very aware of that, have spent a lot of money for some of those games.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, but it's dangerous for sure. Okay. If you have no self-control at all, just stay away from those games altogether.
So are there any regulations on such games?
Not that I knew of.
Okay.
No. There are games which district themselves. Okay. Which I find good. For example, there is, I think Nintendo is pretty honorable in that case. Okay. They have some gacha systems, but they restrict the players so they can just like spend a certain amount of money per month. Which is good because there are people who spend like thousands of dollars, right? I know a good friend of mine who spent, I think, like $20,000 or something on one game, which is free. $20,000, man. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, gaming is a hobby like everything else. Yeah. But you have to watch out. Yeah. I mean, if you got the money, sure, go ahead and do it. There are people who go clubbing every weekend or buy drugs or whatever the hell. But just try to stay responsible with your money and just spend stuff that you really have.
Yeah. Now let's bring it back to the bright side. Like on the contrary of the dark side. What is something that keeps you going, that you're looking forward to? What are you enjoying? What would you like to see in the industry?
I think there is nothing specific, actually, in the industry I'd like to see. It's more like, for me as an artist, I want to improve and develop further. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to stay in game industry forever. I like digital art also, and there are so many different things you can do as an artist. I recently discovered 2D animation for myself, which is super exciting also. It's very hard, but it basically combines two of my biggest passions, which is drawing and animating. So maybe that's my next step, or I'm gonna stay in game development. The future is very unclear, but that's what I love about it.
Okay. Well, we have been talking about a lot about games. I would have loved to go also into the cosplay part and aspect of you.
Okay, well, that's something that is entirely different.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started cosplaying, I think 7 years ago now. And I mean, I love to put on costumes already as a kid. And even in school when nobody else was doing it on Carnival. There was that one day in school, right, where
you could go all in.
Exactly, but no one else in class did it. But I was like, man, that's my chance. I have to put on a costume.
Okay.
And then I started it, as I said, 7 years ago. And the funny story about cosplaying was back then I colored my hair like all the time. I had couple of different colors.
Blue hair?
Yeah, I had blue, I had red, black, yellow, everything. And at that particular time, I had white hair.
Oh, okay.
And my cosplay career started with a lot of people telling me, man, you look like Jack Frost. Jack Frost is the main character of this DreamWorks animation film, which is called Rise of the Guardians. A couple of different people were telling me, man, you look like Jack Frost. And I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah, and I was like, okay, who is that guy?
Yeah.
And then I looked it up and,
You watched the movie?
Yeah, then I watched the movie. And then, really kind of look
like that guy.
Kind of like that guy.
Okay.
Also. And there was also the time where I got a new girlfriend who was a cosplayer.
Okay.
And so, she helped me making my very first cosplay. And
outfit.
And I got this hoodie from H&M and I painted it with acrylics.
Okay.
And crafted the stick out of paper or whatever. And so that was the very first start of my cosplay career.
Oh, wow.
And it's been quite a ride with different characters, like, as you already said, Geralt of Rivia. Or my latest character was Superman.
Yeah, I saw it on your WhatsApp profile pic,
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah. True. I changed it as well.
And obviously you did Captain America?
Yes, that was one of my signatures for a long time.
Did you do Thor?
Yes.
Also. Okay.
Thor also. Okay. And this year, a very cool and big one is going to be Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh.
Okay, I already have the sword at home.
I think I haven't played Final Fantasy VII. I've played Final Fantasy VIII. Isn't that the Final Fantasy with the guy that has a scar through his face?
Yeah, you're talking about Squall, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy with the gun.
Yeah, the gun blade.
The gun blade, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the one that I played. And I played Final Fantasy X, which has this sort of side game where you play like underwater football in kind of a dome. You know that one?
No.
I think they should do a game just around that side game.
Oh, really? It was that great?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't played Final Fantasy. Actually, I haven't played any Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy 14,
Oh wow.
which is an MMO.
Mhm.
So it isn't really comparable to all the other Final Fantasies. But Final Fantasy 7 in particular got a remake, actually.
Okay, a remake.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks awesome. And it
Okay.
plays awesome as well.
Okay.
And Cloud is probably the best known Final Fantasy main
Okay.
characters
Okay.
of all the games, which is why they remade that game in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have to show you. He's blonde and has those big spikes as hair,
Okay,
this
okay.
big ass sword.
Yeah, let's have a look at it later.
Does it ring a bell? No,
Yeah.
no. Okay,
No.
I will show you.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna cosplay that guy this year, hopefully.
Okay.
There's still some stuff.
Is there an event or like a convention coming up you're going to?
Oh, yeah, one?
Oh
yeah.
What? Like every week? Like I'm scheduled, boy.
No, cosplay season just started, man.
Yeah, it just started.
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much.
So like springtime, summertime. That's when it really hits
yeah,
off.
exactly.
Okay.
In summer, man, there are times where every weekend basically there is a convention I
Okay.
will go to.
So what's the next event for you?
For me, it is next weekend actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's called Vimaikai.
Okay.
Yeah, but a very big one, for example, is Dokumi in Düsseldorf, the biggest one in Germany actually.
Okay.
It is in July.
Is it just just a cosplay event? Well, are there like other things around
I think-
anime and I don't know?
Yeah, it's basically cosplay plus anime,
Okay.
and it's hard to put a finger on what exactly the convention is about,
Okay.
because it's about everything and nerd and weeb culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, cosplay is always a big factor,
Okay.
a big aspect in that.
Man, I think we could dive so much deeper into the cosplay topic, and I think we also will use it for another episode, just when we'll get back together for another time.
Sure.
And you will tell me everything about, I don't know, competitions on this events, because I could imagine there are competitions, like preparing your outfits, like what goes into like the idea
Oh yeah,
and crafting it.
crafting. I already participated in contests actually, but yeah,
Let's
keep
take it
that
for another
for
time. I
another
think
one.
that's very interesting to talk about. And
I'd love to.
I think we have to wrap it up a little bit. It's been awesome. I enjoyed it so much. I've counted it. We've been pouring it 3 times now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we really are enjoying the bottle. It's about more than halfway
damn.
done. And I'm enjoying this, man. It's been awesome. If there's anything else that you would like to express,
Something like I'd like to tell the
Yeah.
audience. Yeah, I think what I'd like to tell the people is like follow your dreams, stay relentless. While doing that, don't forget to enjoy your life. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Wow, I love that. Wow, I enjoyed this episode.
Oh, I did too.
I really would love to keep it going, but all good things come to an end. So let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We will definitely repeat it and come together another time and talk more about cosplaying and your digital artistry.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks a lot for sticking around and listening to us and enjoying this nice conversation. And if you enjoyed this episode, obviously destroy the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the gong to join the movement. And if you're up for it, join us again. We appreciate your support and look forward to your feedback. At the end, let me give you a fist of respect. I appreciate so much you doing this episode with me. It's been so much fun.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, let's have you again on the show.
For sure.
So for now, until the next time, when we go where there is no path and leave a trail. This is the way.
This is the way.
Keep grinding, stay sharp.